Coming to the part 2 video of store design. In this, we are going to cover the topic of store layout. Now, a store needs to have the right layout so that customer can walk in, has enough space to move around. At the same time, merchandise is displayed in the right manner. Plus, there is space for storage of merchandise in a small warehouse if they have one. So, a store layout is the manner in which merchandise is arranged inside a retail store. The products ko rakha kaise hai. Now, there's a very simple hack here. If the product or merchandise that you're selling has higher margins, you got to make sure you have enough space for the customer to freely move around and make a decision. Like a Nike store. When you walk in, you have space to move around because you're going to make a purchase of 7,000-8,000 rupees. So your mind has to be at ease. On the other hand, a supermarket where the margin for each product that the retailer sells is very less, say around 10%. So you sell a biscuit for 10 rupees, make about 1 rupees on that. So in this case, the supermarket will have a lot of products, thousands of products stocked inside the store. And in that case, the movement of the customer will be very restricted. Right? They will have products all around the wall on shelves. Plus, they will have those racks and gondolas in between. So the customer has to move in that particular maze in a very, very restricted flow of circulation. So the logic is pretty simple. Expensive the merchandise, more the margin, the more freely the customer will move. If you have lesser margin of product, the customer's movement is restricted inside the store. So that's a different layout altogether. To make things simple, there is something called as the types of store layouts. Broadly, there are 3 layouts. A lot of stores use them in combination, but we'll define them individually. The first one is the grid layout. The grid layout, as you can see in this particular diagram, is typically used for a supermarket. And if you can see very clearly, the movement of the customer here is very, very restricted. There is an entry exit and they have to move around all the gondolas and the racks that are kept and find the particular product. In this case, the floor space is used very effectively. There's no wastage. Moving on to the second one, and that is the racetrack layout or the loop layout. In this case, there is a circular space over the store and there are sections in between. This is typically used by a lot of departmental stores like Shoppers Stop and Lifestyle, where it's more like a loop altogether, like a circular track, and there are sections inside where customers can go and shop from. Departmental stores typically and cosmetic stores typically have this. Even Zara has this particular kind of setup wherein you have space to move around in between and kind of like a racetrack. Moving on to the final setup, and that is the freeform layout. As you can see in the structure, there is no fixed movement that is required for the customer to move around. They can float wherever they want inside the store. And this typically happens in high-end designer stores, products which have high-ticket items where customers can freely move around. Somewhere like a designer store or a Nike store or an Under Armour where customers have the time and space to breathe inside the store. When it comes to store layout, this example has to be given, and that is of IKEA. Now, everyone has been to IKEA and has spoken about IKEA, how massive that particular place is, and there are so many products that they see. But the whole game of IKEA works on the layout that they have, and that is known as the maze layout, the Bhool Bhulaiya. According to an Austrian architect, Victor Gruen, the whole strategy of IKEA on the maze layout is also known as Gruen effect, named after him, wherein the moment people enter a store, immerse them and overwhelm them with so many products that they end up making a purchase. It has been proved. Because when you enter IKEA, you see so many products set up so nicely in categories, living room, bedroom, hall, kitchen, bathroom. You keep walking in and realize there are so many nice products and you get tempted to buy. And you make sure that when you leave the store, you make sure that you pick up some item and put it in your cart and move around. Because ultimately, when you drive to an IKEA all the way, you spend so much time inside. Plus, they have a restaurant inside. So they make sure when you're inside the mall, at the end of the day, you wouldn't want to go home without a product in your hand. That's exactly what IKEA does through the Gruen effect. So that brings an end to this topic on store design part 2, where we spoke about store layout. Thank you and easy array.